Murphy's Builder Supply is where you need to go for all your home improvement projects and hardware needs. They've been serving folks in this area since 1946. Murphy's offers some products and services that you may not know about. They now sell ammunition, both bullets and shells. Murphy's also sells personalized tags for dog collars. They build customized screens for windows and doors. Murphy's can rekey locks, and of course they can make keys. They cut glass for windows, plus Murphy's has monthly door buster specials. Check their Facebook page to see what's on sale. Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup. Dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.
A bank that puts people first. First Southern Bank, investing in you since 1907. Serving Jessup, Patterson, and Waycross. A true community bank led by experienced neighborhood bankers that live and work in our community. Offering competitive loan options for commercial and consumer clients. Stop by the Jessup branch and meet branch manager Mandy Yeomans and her fantastic team. Call 912-810-1540. Let First Southern Bank be your bank of choice. First Southern Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
On this Friday morning, world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, and First Southern Bank. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. We're here to talk high school football. We got head football coach Ken Cribb in the studios, athletic director as well. We got Coach Mikey Ward, defense coach, in with us to talk high school football. It's been the first week of condition. I got to go out there Monday and watch it, Coach. I told you Monday, it was just good to see kids back on campus. First time Georgia High School Association allowed kids back on campus for conditioning. Still like to see a football out there, but no balls yet. No, just run, lift weights, things like that. But tell us how the kids responded and how the first week went.
The greatest thing to see was all the smiles. That was awesome. We knew we missed them, but man, we were so glad to see them, and they seemed glad to see each other and the coaches. And I tell you, it was a great week. Not just day, but it was a great week. Their attitudes, their efforts. I mean, it's what I'd hoped would happen with the, trying to take a positive outlook on this whole 3 month or however long we've been sitting home, was to come back hungry and excited and more appreciative than ever. And it was pretty impressive. I know it did my heart good, and I'm excited about being back and what we have, and just moving forward.
Georgia High School Association stressed these are voluntary workouts, but looks like the kids were excited to get back and be able to work out. I know you have to limit it to 20 kids per session, so how hard was that with this number of kids we have involved in our programs?
We had to get real creative, and I'll tell you, it's the best we've ever had. I mean, best turnout I think I've ever had. So that also confirmed what I'd hoped would happen. We had most of the groups had 100% of who was assigned. The few that were not here, we knew about vacations or whatever different reasons. But we went with 5 groups and signed 19 kids per group, and we can't mix the groups and can have 20 total including the coach, and it kind of spread our coaches out to be with different groups, and I thought the coach staff did a good job assigning groups and making it fun and working them at the same time. So it was a really productive week.
Again, also with us, Coach Ward again. Other sports allowed to work out as well. It was like the track kids out. I saw the baseball kids up there.
Coach McDonald's got baseball. They're actually coming in at 6:00 in the morning, or 6:38. They're getting after. He's got a lot of kids working, and they're out of there by 8:30. He's got 2 groups going, working out in the summertime. He's a great guy. They've been in there killing it. They have to actually sanitize the weight room after they get done for us.
All right.
And then we have to sanitize it for the next group. But it's a crazy process we're dealing with, but we're making it.
Well, one of the most valuable assets Wayne County has is Coach White. I saw him up there. He's got the mask. He's doing all the temperatures and things like that. So, but what an asset that is for the
Coach White was on it. I mean,
that guy's great.
He is, and his kids love him. He worked several weeks ahead of time. As soon as we got word that we were going to be able to do something, he put a plan in place, and he was calling and texting and emailing and getting all the supplies. And first morning, I have no idea what time he got there. Cleaned and fogged, and all the supplies were ready and available. And he was in action. So, kids love Coach White.
We haven't been able to send anybody home. We haven't had that yet. But I talked to you Monday. I asked you if some kid shows up, he's got a high fever or something like that. What happened? You said he definitely got to go home and be gone for 14 days.
That's correct.
That's the rule, right?
That's the rule.
But so far, knock on wood, that hasn't happened. So.
No, I expected somebody to, as they've been working, I thought somebody would duck out on us. But they didn't. They didn't.
So when's the first official practice? I forget the date. Georgia High School Association put that out there. I know it's
supposed to be July 27th.
July, that's it. So, and that's the first day, full pads, things like that?
That's preconditioning, helmets only for the first 5 days. So right now we have our schedule, our calendar ready to go, and hopefully if we start on time, we'll start that Monday, and we'll end it with a practice that Friday morning. We got a fun day planned for the kids, something we do for team building, and then the next week we'll be able to start with shoulder pads. And
I'm curious now. The governor eased some more restrictions about crowds of 50. Do we go by the kids' guidelines, or we go by the GHSA guidelines, or what guidelines are we following?
GHSA. Because
GHSA, will they change now? Because I remember when they put out this first memo, they said they would watch it during the first week and then make an assessment. So are we expecting another announcement by GHSA now that the governor raised or eased more restrictions, or what do you think?
They made one yesterday where they upped the number for us from 20 to 25.
Oh, okay. So,
but I think that was before
the governor
did what he did.
Right,
so yes, I fully expect the GHSA. They're very safe, but proactive, moving forward. And I expect another.
I don't know if you got to hear this. The NFL got all these memos. All that they're supposed to, and he's saying it's just humanly impossible to do it. And it's a communication sport. You got to be in the huddle. He said there's no way you're going to have a huddle with people standing 6 feet apart. So, right. Sooner or later they got to make a decision on how this is going to go. But everybody's optimistic right now that the high school football season should start pretty much on time, right? At first, one time they were talking about possibly pushing it back, but right now it just seems like the more and more it progresses, the more and more it's going to start on time. Do you think it's going to start on time, Coach?
I do. That's my prayer. It's my hope. I think it will. Talking about the social distance and all that, and one thing about it, you can't catch the virus from someone that doesn't have it. And if you spend every day doing the best you can with washing your hands and using hand sanitizer and wearing masks or distancing yourself the best you can, limiting who you do come in contact with. If our kids stay healthy, we can keep everybody healthy. So.
Do they do no out of state? We don't have anybody out of state on the schedule this year, do we?
We do not. Everything's in state. Yep. So the only concern I have right now, Coach Kaiser from Statesboro called the other day, and because we're supposed to play our first game
at Georgia
Southern,
right.
we have a plan put in place. If something comes up that we're going to play home and away, home and
right.
So either way it goes, we're ready to go. So we do have a plan in place.
Speaking
of
that schedule, that's one of the toughest schedules we've seen in quite some time. We talk about the teams in the region, but even the non-region opponents are good football teams, Coach. It's going to be a fun season.
It is going to be fun, and we were able to accomplish all our goals with this schedule. In the past, we played some people, and the games ended up not being as competitive as we thought, but you want to play your close, rivals, and you also want to play programs that have a history of being very, very strong. But you don't know what's really coming, till the season gets here. But with this schedule, I think we got a pretty good idea what's coming.
Well, we know what's in the region. I said Ware, Coffee. We know what kind of program Coffee's had over the last 7-8 years. Warner Robins, the elite program in 5A the last couple of years, and Veterans. You said is a very good football there. We played Veterans several years ago in a playoff game. I remember going there. Like you said, nice facilities, good program. So it's a very difficult region. We mentioned Monday, a lot of magazines are saying this could be the toughest region in the entire state of Georgia, which is saying something.
I do. 5 teams of that caliber, it's not unusual to have 2, 3, maybe sometimes 4. 5, very, very unusual. And non-region, I mean, I'm glad to get Pierce back on schedule. Right down the road, great rival. Kept Appleton on the schedule, awesome. Richmond Hill, they were a play away, a fourth down away from playing for the state championship last year in 6A.
That was the game we weren't able to play because that changed the schedule, because it'd be nice to play them this year.
Picked up Benedictine, and I think everybody knows what kind of program that is.
We know all about BC, all the way back in the John Donaldson days. If we could beat BC, that was a great speech that John Donaldson did years ago to his players, because he despised BC back in the days. But again, it's a good schedule. We talk about the team. I'm curious now. We talked Monday about the 3 Division I athletes we have, but you made a comment that just because they don't check the boxes, we got a lot of athletes. So I'm curious, who are some of those athletes you're talking about?
Well, for the most part, someone who Kaliz Hadley. He's a prospect. He's a great player, but he doesn't check all the boxes for the big schools. But he'll be a prospect for somewhere. If he were bigger, because he's got great moves, great vision, great speed. That's one, for example. Another is someone like Tavares is of size, and he may be the next Power 5 guy next year, but he's only a junior. Camden Williams, as a good alignment, two-way starter. He started on both sides of the ball for us. Last year was offense and then moved to defense. Camden, Coach Ward was 6'1". Not very many Power 5 schools are even going to consider Camden at 6'1". There will be hopefully some, but he can play as he's as good alignment as we'll see.
Well, Coach Ward, Weston Franklin's back in the fold, and we know what he can do offensively. But I understand he might be. The defensive coaches are fighting to get him over there on the defense side of the ball a little bit. So
tell us too hard. Coach Cribb's looking at playing a lot of guys both ways. We're going to put our best guys at the position we think they can play. And everybody knows Weston. I mean, he's probably one of the best guys I've ever coached.
It's just good to have him back. Like I said, lost him last year at IMG, but where does he coach? I keep seeing these different. Is he 6'3"? Is he 6'4"?
Measured everybody this week.
So what do you got him officially at?
Weston. Yeah, he's 6'3" 3/4. He's a quarter inch off being 6'4". He weighed 315. Biggest team I've ever been associated with. We have more size this year than ever.
I'm curious, as a head coach, what do you got a kid like Weston. He's getting all these offers. All these colleges want him. Does he come to you for what kind of advice did you give a kid like Weston? What do you tell him?
Well, find the place that you feel the most comfortable, that you fit. That you got to figure out what's important to you, and whether it's geographical, location, weather, your heart, where you've wanted to play your whole life, opportunities. My advice to all my kids, not just Weston, have always been, find where you fit the best. And I'm one, find where you can contribute the most. I'm not sitting. I want to play.
You want to play, right?
I want to play. I want to play today.
Right.
So that's my. And I think it's more important to go somewhere where you can contribute and feel comfortable and love where you're at. But it's their decision. I tell them I'm not going to influence you at all. You ask me a question, I'll answer you honestly. But it's something. And it's a process, and it is stress.
I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, all those offers.
Weston's handled it amazing.
It's not like he's got 2 or 3. He's
handled it amazing.
Full.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unreal. He can go just where he wants to go. So I'm just curious where I'm like, geographical would be a concern, because you'd like to see people able to come see you play.
Right.
Say you think about your parents, you don't want to go.
And these college coaches call all the time and say, hey, Coach, I hadn't heard from Weston. What's he thinking? And I just tell him, I say, he's just he's trying to enjoy it.
All right. And I know Trevin Wallace has several offers as well. And what about BJ Wright? What kind of offers is he getting?
BJ's got a lot of schools that's interested, but nobody's pulled the trigger yet. The last person I've heard from was Vic Koenig at West Virginia. He really, really likes him, but BJ missing last season. They're wanting to see some film.
Right?
They do.
Yeah. Right.
They do. Trevin committed to Boston College a few days ago.
He did.
He did. He did. He committed to Boston College over Auburn, Illinois, NC State. So
So he's made a verbal commitment to Boston College. That's a good program.
If I understand what he said was, he cared more about fit and the place that he felt he could contribute the most
and play right.
I don't know all the details, but that's the things that he commented on.
And for people not familiar with these kids, explain the position Trevin plays. I mean, there's people out there listening to who's Trevin. They may not know who these people are.
Right.
We just assume everybody football-wise knows, but there might be people asking who these people are.
Trevor Wallace has played wide receiver mostly. Last year, we moved him from wide receiver. We stayed some, but we moved him over to defense to play safety. And Coach Ward, you comment a little bit about, y'all made a move with Trevor, and he actually was coming up, helping on the edge with a little bit of kind of like a strong safety or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and Boston College actually signed him as a linebacker. He hasn't played linebacker for us, but he's played that outside linebacker, strong safety type, Troy Polamalu type. But I mean, he's great at receiver. I know that 9th grade team, whenever we had that 9th grade team his freshman year, he was our tailback. I mean, he's, 6'3", 220 kid, freak athlete, great track guy. Our long jump record is held by Lindsey Scott, and he's like a quarter of an inch away from that. So he's a great athlete. He runs a 10.700. He's a hurdler. He can high jump. He's just a freak athlete. Great kid, too.
Well, let's go on both sides of the ball. We'll start with the defense coach. How many starters are coming back from last year, and what kind of defense will Wayne County fans expect to see this year?
We're going to be coming after you just like we've always been last 3 years. This is our 4th year in this system, be 4-man front. Then we got 7 returners coming back. And plus we're adding Weston Franklin and, B.J. Wright, 6'8", 230, looking at playing him at defensive end. So we actually did a depth chart yesterday, and it's unbelievable the talent that we have on defense this year. We're very excited.
And, Coach, offensively, how many starters come back?
Well, 10, but let me explain that to you. So Weston wasn't here last year, but he started freshman sophomore year, so I added him to the mix. And B.J. Wright started up at Perry and played in the GAC All-Star game. Adding those 2 to what we have returning back gives us 10. We'll have one spot that we got some guys fighting for, and right now Owen Spell is looking. He's kind of leading the way. Got some guys pushing him, but he's leading the way. Owen's the biggest guy on the team, 6'6", 310, 6'6", 310, working hard. But offensively, pieces to the puzzle could end up being the best we've had. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but
the offensive line should be huge this year, right?
Offensive line is huge.
I mean, when they break the huddle, you're going to see like a mountain of men.
Jake's. I mean, I don't want to get into 2 numbers, but Jake, Weston, Camden, Owen doesn't get much bigger. Miles is probably the meanest guy on that offensive line, but he's about 270, and Miles is an incredible athlete to play line. He's our center.
Well, the quarterback's got to feel comfortable when he breaks the huddle with that kind of protection, and the running backs, they should be opening up holes. How about the running backs? Who's going to be running the ball?
We got a great stable of backs.
You mentioned Hadley,
Tavares Wilkins, Jai Ross, Jordan Harris, Elijah Jones. That's 5 out the gate. They're going to be battling for touches. Coach Ward mentioned the guys playing both ways, and that's giving us great depth. And every coach is going to help coach both sides of the ball, and every player is going to practice both sides of the ball. Which the biggest thing it does for us is makes it a little more fun for the kids to learn a little more, and it also maybe opens some doors for some of the guys.
And how much better will Trey Pierce be this year? I still can envision him making that long run against Clark Central up there in Athens. I mean, that was a heck of a play for that touchdown to get us back in that ball game, but people don't realize how close we were to winning that ball game.
Yep, we were. Yeah. We were.
That was a good ball game.
Bob, years and years and years, I tell the quarterback, if it's cloudy, it's not open, throw it away. Not with Trey. If it's cloudy, at all, pull it down and go. Right. Get what you can get. they start getting hands on you, then you can get rid of it. But they're going to have a hard time getting hands on him. He's incredibly fast.
What about our kicking game? Everybody's concerned. Punter, kicker, we have those guys coming back? Or?
Presley Kane's back, and he's. I'll be honest with you, he's one of the leading guys out there with the conditioning and the speed work. He's working in that weight room. He looks great. He seems like he has great confidence coming into his senior year, and so I feel great about the kicking game. Him and got Luis Flores going to be a junior, so kicking game looks great. Got a rising freshman, Michael Wayne, coming in. That's been working hard on his own. So I think kicking in Wayne County is going to be good for years to come.
Sounds good. I mean, there's a lot of excitement building. Like I said, that's why everybody's hoping and praying that the football season does start on time because of all this talent that we'll see on the field. A lot of excitement in this new region. Ware County, we know what they're made of. They still got Castellanos over there as quarterback, so we know how talented they are. We saw Warner Robins, how good they are. I know all about coffee. I mean, that's going to be nice to get that rivalry back. It was more of a rivalry in baseball, but the football rivalry will start quickly, I'm sure. So, but it's a nice little ride to Douglas, and that's a good ball place. It's a nice stadium to play in. So.
It was good for us last year. We went down for the spring jamboree and played in that against Coffee and Brooks.
So the numbers are out. What kind of numbers we got?
Right at 100, about 101 on the roster right now. We've averaged over 85 every day for workouts at this time of year. That's really
that is incredible. Like I said, they are voluntary, but most kids know that it's all about getting bigger, faster, stronger.
Right.
As luckily we imposed that maybe 10 years ago. I guess people understood because. If you're not working, unfortunately, your opponents are.
That's right.
So if you're not keeping up with the Joneses, you're going to get left behind. I think kids finally realize that. They realize, you go out there and you didn't work out, and all of a sudden you line up. It's a rough Friday night. So our kids bought in, and luckily they understand it. And unfortunately, the parents understand it as well because most people plan vacation, things like that. But these kids realize they got to be working out.
Yep.
It's amazing. It doesn't matter what sport it is now. It's a year-round sport. It's all about conditioning and training and
it's very competitive.
Doing everything you can do, right?
If you're not working, like you said, there's a lot of old slang, analogies like if you're not busting yours, someone else is. It's true stuff. You got to work.
Well, the good thing is when school does get back in session, you're going to see a lot of college coaches walking those hallways because there's a lot of talent to get in Wayne County. So that's always a lot of fun when I always get the call from, hey, such and such plane arrived at the airport, so-and-so's in time. Right. So that's always a fun thing, Coach, to see those coaches walk the halls of Wayne County. I still remember when well,
it's going to open up the door for a lot of our other kids, too. These coaches coming in, looking at Weston and Trevin and BJ, and then all of a sudden they see a Tavares Wilkins or, Jaden Miller or, Jaden's one we didn't talk about a while ago. He's arguably one of our best players we have on our team. Wow. But at 6 foot, considered a tight end or H-back, but he had an incredible year last year, and he's leading the way right now. A great leader, most academic guy we got. He's fun to coach.
I guess you've talked to these coaches in our new region. What's their thoughts on how they think it's going to shape out? Anybody?
Oh, it's like more of a show than it is a conversation. Everybody poor mouthing and singing the blues, and no one's fooling anybody else. Everybody in our region's returning majority of their teams off of successful teams. So, I can't. It's going to depend on every Friday night who shows up and who has a great game because I think anybody can beat anybody in this region. To be honest with you.
You mentioned we opened up at Georgia Southern against Statesboro. It's supposed to be in that Ark Russell Classic, but like I said, Georgia Southern has different rules. So have we already flipped a coin on where that game's going to be? Are we going to go to Statesboro and play there, or will they come here?
We agreed to, if we have to play at school sites, to play at Statesboro the first year since they played at our place last year.
I got you.
And I felt that was fair. We're actually going to split the gate of both years instead of having a home and home because that was the agreement with the Russell Classic was to get a share each year, so that helps you with your revenue, gate revenue for the year.
Coach Ward, any other thoughts about your defense, or how about your track program coming up? And then still, the track hadn't got a permit for the.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
You can't get a.
There is something I do want to talk about. My son's going to Arthur Williams, and I've been picking him up. Summer workout. You were talking about how everybody needs to work out. Now, our middle school program is going to be unbelievable. The guy that was our strength coach past 3 years, Tommy Adams, head coach at Arthur Williams, he's doing a phenomenal job. They've actually been combining the middle schools and working out together. I know he came on and spoke a couple of weeks ago, but it's amazing the job he's doing with those kids. I mean, they're doing footwork drills, then they go to the weight room, then they go outside and run. I mean, the future is going to be great at Wayne County because of what the job he's doing. Not only him, but Coach Jamie Knight, Brian Pruitt, they're doing a great job.
I like the fact that they're unifying the mindset and everybody's yellow jackets and
right.
Helping each other out and teamwork rather than more competition. It's more of your brother. So that's going to go a long ways too. So the future looks very good. Wayne County.
We talked about that. They talked about that in years past. You got these rivalries between these two schools. They're trying to eliminate that. I said you could just eliminate those games, but any thought about doing that? Just play other teams and not play each other?
Well, you got the right leadership in place and moving in the right direction. I'm anxious to see how that turns out because, I think iron sharpens iron. I think competition really brings the best out of any as long as you put in character first, brotherhood. That's a big thing for us, and it's going to be for our whole program is brotherhood. Loving each other, taking care of each other, supporting each other. But right now, a little while, if I take Mikey down to the buffet, we're going to have an eating contest. And
I'm worried about the legislative session. They're going to cut education, so funding is going to be a big issue with all the school systems. So, we just added some sports programs, but there's some non-revenue sports that don't bring any money in. Is there any discussion about what might happen?
No, hopefully through the sports fundraisers and stuff, no matter what happens, we can, it's in place. We have existing equipment. Hopefully we get back to normal and things start getting better and better every day. So, my hope is that we keep moving forward and getting back where we were and maybe better situation.
I think we lost Poinsett. He's a great coach, and he did a great job with the wrestling program. I'm curious, who's going to run the wrestling program for you this year?
Nick Hayes. He was the head football coach at Turner County. He has history in wrestling. Started out over at Ware County. He coached at Ware County back in 12. They played for the state title in football, and he was one of the assistant wrestling coaches there during that time. But he's Nick Hayes would be the head coach, and he's assisted by Austin Wilder. Also got Thomas Willie and Tommy Weatherspoon helping with the younger kids. So wrestling's excited. Third year wrestling season coming up, and those four gentlemen doing a great job with getting everything ready for the upcoming year.
Okay, Coach. Well, we appreciate you coming in. Like I said, you give the kids Friday off, right? It's just Monday through Thursday volunteer workouts. So
that's right. Friday's off, Monday through Thursday.
And then after July 4th, it'll pick up.
Hope so.
We'll get everything going. But I said, knock on wood, hopefully, things will continue to open up. The governor's, like I said, opened up a lot of things yesterday. So hopefully the season will be on time. We'll get everything ready to go and get everybody excited. Get the ticket sales going. When will that start up?
We're kind of waiting for some type of official word that nothing's on delay. But I'm glad you mentioned that, Bob. I can't tell you how excited I am for this community to get football back, get sports back, and it's great to be a Yellow Jacket, and our community love their athletics, and that makes it fun for the kids. I mean, nothing fires our kids more up than our fans and in the community and how they support us. It's amazing the small town mentality we have of supporting our kids and through boosters, advertisers, the whole 9 yards, showing up at the ball games.
And let's talk about physicals. The kids are getting notification on where to get physicals due to the situation. It's not a normal process, but several agencies, companies around town are offering those physicals. So let's get that information out.
It's kind of every year we're able to provide physicals at school because of our Dr. Thomas, the hospital, staff. We have a bunch of agencies that contribute and help us get that. And, Coach White helps line up a bunch of stuff for us. And every year we have an annual physical at the school. And the ones that don't make it, Coach White helps us line it up. But right now we didn't have the opportunity. So, we are asking our kids to go to your local physician, your family physician. Get your physical along with your checkup. So that's the first thing they need to do. And then there are some places that are offering discounted prices for physicals. But main thing to do is if you have a family physician, go see your family physician. Keep the guys and keep our companies in mind that always provide and donate to Wayne County Athletics first. And then if you're looking for a place and limited funds, then contact your coach and get some help on making an appointment and getting it done.
Again, the excitement's building. Like I said, everybody's got their fingers crossed for high school football, college football, pro football, you name it. Football is a big.
Gotta have it.
You gotta have it. So.
I just thank ESPN for running some old games.
Old games. I just can't get into the old games. I gotta have Luckily, they had a golf tournament yesterday at the Charles Schwab's underway, so I watched a little bit of golf. But I'm just ready for some live sporting events. But I think once it gets, listen to Clay Travis coming in, he says once it gets cranked up, it's going to be a wild sports reports because they're going to have all these sports going on at the same time. So NBA is going to Orlando, and hopefully baseball can get that together.
Basketball, football,
it's all going to play the same season, so it's going to be fun to watch. But we're excited about the high school football season. I said, as you mentioned, Coach, there's a lot of talent out there. A lot of good kids. It's going to be exciting to see where Weston decides to go. And like I said, Trevin, you said Artie's decided he's going to Boston College, so they'll have a nice signing ceremony there. So it's just a good school for him. Happy for him. He's a great kid. Like I said, he got injured last year, missed those playoff games. It was tough to, he was still there. I talked to him, but you can't meet a nicer kid than Trevin Wallace. So I'm happy for him.
The thing I'm most excited about seeing
have him back, right?
Yeah, got him back. He's full. He's full go. He's full strength, and he's also becoming a great leader right now.
He's a great talent. I know that. I know his dad keeps him on the right path. I'm surprised he didn't go to Florida. I know he wanted to have Florida at Boston College. So he'll be an equal at BC. That'll be good. So, well, we appreciate you coming in. I'm sure we're going to have you all in before the season gets underway, but I'm just glad that the off-season conditioning program is underway. Like I said, hopefully Georgia High School Association next week will lift some more guidelines and have you be able to have more of your kids out there at one time, because limited to 20 it's just a tall task when you got 100 kids in the program. Right. But luckily the kids, how do you organize who gets what session, Coach? Are they lobbying for that? I want the early morning, so I want the afternoon session. Did they lobby for it?
We kind of grouped them. So let the linemen build some relationship.
So you keep by positions. Is that what you do? It's like
we went skilled guys, the older skilled guys, the older linemen, and then we got mixed groups for the next three.
I didn't know they had to draw straws or something like that. So. But again, our special guest today, head coach and athletic director Ken Cribb and defensive coordinator Mike Ward in the studio. Coach, always good to see you. I say you do a good job of that track program. The track numbers have been up the last couple of years. So.
Yeah, track's been great lately. My heart's still broken that the season got cut because this was going to be the best year track we were going to have. Had Hannah Wise signed D1 at Georgia Southern, greatest school in America, and we were going to be phenomenal this year. It's awful that it got cut short.
Yeah, it was hard on all of the spring sports to see all those spring sports canceled. But like I said, they mentioned at the board meeting, these seniors have missed out on so much. Hopefully they'll be able to have that normal graduation ceremony on the 18th. They're trying to decide that, but the date's been set, the time's been set. It's just a matter of who's going to be allowed to attend. The thought at the board meeting was hopefully they'll let everybody that wants to come just be a personal choice. If you don't want to come, you can watch it on live stream, but if you want to come, hopefully they'll be able to let you come. So, again, as soon as we get the final details on that, we'll pass that information along as well. But always great to see you guys. Looking forward to the season, and go Yellow Jackets.
Bob, thanks for the job y'all do here at WIFO, and go Yellow Jackets.
Go Yellow Jackets. Okay, Jonathan, that's going to do it for today's Butch and Bob Show.
Butch and Bob Show on WIFO at 8:30, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, First Southern Bank, and Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings. Good morning from the Big Dog at 8:31.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service